Hello everyone, welcome back. Max Alexander here, and today we're going to be talking about titles, how to make your video look that little bit better. So if you want to learn how to do that, stick around. So today we're going to be talking about how to paint your title onto your video and make that video just look... Titles really introduce the video. They tell the audience, they tell your viewer what's going on, what's about to happen, and may even frame a scene for you. So you want that title to look good, you want it to look professional, and you want it to capture the eye. You want people to pay attention to it. Okay, so we're going to be using Adobe's Premiere Pro, so let's jump straight in. So what you want to do here is choose a video that you're wanting to draw on top of. I've just chosen this video of a palm tree moving around from my holiday. What you want to do is create a new title. Now there's a few ways you can do this. If we just drag this up, there is down here the type tool where you can click that and just drag it across your screen. However, what you used to be able to do in CS6 etc. is to be able to right click here, choose a new item, and there would be a option for a title. That's now been made by Adobe a legacy tool. So you want to go to File, New, Legacy Title. From here, it's going to auto sort of suggest your video settings and open up your box. Now, from here, you can choose wherever it is you want your text box. So let's say I want mine here. Choose whatever it is you want to write. Let's put them on two separate lines because we're going to want the text a lot bigger than it is. Let's just neaten up the text a bit, so center it. You can choose your X and Y position, so I want mine down a little bit. You want to choose a font that you want, say tooth and nail. So that's tooth and nail. We want it slightly bigger, so font size 165, that should be big enough. What you next want to do is make sure that these letters are actually far enough apart that you're going to be able to work around them. So that is over here on tracking. So if you take your tracking and just bring it across until it stretches out far enough out that you want it. 17 is fine for me. I'm now happy with the positioning of all of that. So if you come out, it's going to automatically dump your title in your project bin here. So if you then drag this down to here, above your video, stretch it out to as long as your video. Even if you want it to start halfway through your video, it depends what you want. So next you want to create an adjustment layer. Let's just drag this out to unhide some of these. So if you go to here, you can either go File, New Item, or you can go New Item here and then Adjustment Layer. Again, it's going to auto do your video settings, so you can click OK and drag this down. Now, the order in which you want this is you want your title on top, you then want your adjustment layer in the middle and stretch that for as long as the video as well, and then your video clip on the bottom. So you can see I've got my video on video 1, the adjustment layer on video 2, and the title on video 3. That will become more apparent why in just a minute. So go to, let's sort of make this smaller again so you've got more space to work with. What you want to do is then go to the beginning, very beginning of your clip. Go over to Effects. There's several ways you can go to Effects, but I just go here and type in Right On Effect. Okay, so it's already come up. Video Effects, generate Right On. And what you want to do is bring this down, this right on, to the adjustment layer. Okay, so drag and drop it on the adjustment layer, and you can see it's added. If you go into Effects Control, it's added all your right on here. Next, what you're going to want to do is fiddle with your settings. Okay, so your brush size is obviously how big the brush is. Hardness you can sort of leave as it is. Opacity again, leave as it is. Stroke length, that's sort of the duration of the stroke. So if we put this as 50, Okay, and brush spacing, you want this very small for it to be able to do that full stroke. So the best thing to do is just hit the down arrow key. So, and immediately that takes you to 0, 0, 0 or 0.001. Okay, you can come out of that. Now, if you click on right on, you should see over here something, a little crosshair is marked onto your video frame. Now, if I drag this, because it's trying to generate, you can see the little white dots following it around. That is your brush. So if you bring it to where you want to start, and a little tip for you here is, because you're going to be working on this so intricately, you can actually zoom in. So let's zoom in a little bit further. Oops, autosave. In fact, let's zoom in a little bit more, and let's bring that up here. So if you drag it to wherever you want to start, I'm going to start obviously with the beginning. Depends on how you want to write your name. I'm going to start down here. And that little white dot, what you want to do is make it big enough so that it covers the size of the brush, the size of the stroke, but not the whole letter. So the best thing is find the thickest part of your text. So I'd say over here is probably quite thick. And then center it down and just keep dragging it up or down so that it just overlaps. So I think that's good enough for me. Bring it back to where you want to start, and then come over here to brush position. So you want to toggle this animation, okay, and create a keyframe. What you're going to start doing is moving the frame forwards, and make sure that right on is selected here, okay, because you're not going to be able to move it otherwise. So right on is selected. Make sure that you're at the very beginning of your title, and move one frame on, and then you can start drawing. Now I suggest not going too far, because if you start stretching out far too far, you can see what happens here. Okay, so bring it back to the text, and you want to do maybe half a stroke per frame. It depends on how fast you want it written, but half a stroke per frame is fine with me. As you can tell, it's very labour intensive on your CPU and your GPU. I've got quite a good computer, and it's still labouring quite a lot. I suppose having OBS open isn't really helping. Move the frames on, okay, and you can see that it covers up bits of the stroke. Now here you can see that it's sort of just warped away from where the text is. That's what these are for. So if you bring this little dot down away from bits that you don't want it revealing, it's going to help you out for the next stroke. So next frame. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to speed this up, because this takes quite a while. Now you can see how handy these have been. Obviously the little notches that you've got here, it just moves a bit of that line out of the way, so it stretches it round slightly so that you're able to actually get past your text without encroaching over the top of it. Again, you can just bring this round so that it does the whole loop of the R without having to sort of slow it down. You can keep the pace of the animation as it goes. And there you have it. With this, if you zoom back out into fit, you can see a whole jumbled load of mess, but you can see the path in which the animation is going to take. So if you come back down to your effects control, you can see all the keyframes that have been put in of the movements of the masking effect. Now what you want to do is apply the next effect, which is called track matte. So if you go back up to your effects, go track matte, and you can see it's under video effects, keying, track matte key, and drag that down, click and drag it back down onto your adjustment layer. You can see that it's going to stack underneath it. So if we just collapse right on, and what you want to do is go to where it says matte. Okay, so if you pay attention to where the video is, where the adjustment layer is, and the title is, so the video is on video 1, adjustment is on video 2, and title is on video 3, If you go to the mat and choose video 3, and then if we render it, so now we just wait for it to render. Okay, so now it's finished rendering. What you can do is you can take your video back out to the fit size and you can play it through, and it should just draw itself through. See, there you go. Okay guys, thanks for watching. So if you like this video, please hit subscribe. It's just down there. And throw me a thumbs up because I really appreciate it. I really do. The videos that I've been getting with thumbs up and subscribers, it's just motivated me to go out and it's pushed me to do more. So if you want to learn more about Photoshop, you want to learn more about Lightrooms or Premiere Pro, just hit me up in the comments and I'll create a tutorial. See you soon.